Gainesville, Florida, a place known for its sunshine, its university, and, unfortunately, the dark secrets hidden beneath its sunny facade. Our story takes us into the heart of this seemingly peaceful town, where a seemingly ordinary couple, Mike and Sue Reuschel, lived a life that seemed straight out of a storybook. At least, that's what everyone believed. Mike, a successful businessman, and Sue, a devoted wife and mother, were the epitome of the American dream. They had it all: a beautiful home, a loving family, and a future that promised endless possibilities. Their lives were a tapestry woven with the threads of success, happiness, and community involvement. Mike, with his charming demeanor and sharp business acumen, was a pillar of the local business community. Sue, known for her warmth and her dedication to her family and friends, was the heart of their social circle. Their story seemed almost too good to be true. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. Behind the smiles and the picture-perfect facade lay a current of tension, a darkness that would soon erupt, shattering the illusion of their perfect life. The Reuschel story is a stark reminder that the truth often lurks beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Unbeknownst to the outside world, the Reuschels' seemingly idyllic marriage was crumbling from within. The smiles they presented to the world masked a growing resentment, a simmering tension that permeated their home. Whispers of arguments, of heated exchanges behind closed doors, began to surface. Like cracks in a seemingly perfect facade, these whispers hinted at a darker reality, a truth that their carefully constructed image belied. Friends and neighbors, initially disbelieving, began to notice subtle changes in the couple's demeanor. The easy laughter that once filled their home was replaced by a strained silence. The warmth that once radiated from them seemed to have dimmed, replaced by a coldness that sent chills down the spines of those who dared to look closer. The reasons behind their deteriorating relationship remained shrouded in speculation. Some whispered of financial troubles, the weight of maintaining their affluent lifestyle becoming too heavy to bear. Others spoke of infidelity, a betrayal that cut deep into the heart of their marriage. Whatever the cause, the once rock-solid foundation of their relationship had crumbled, leaving behind a dangerous precipice of anger, resentment, and despair. The tension, the resentment, the anger, all came to a head on a night that would forever be etched in the annals of Gainesville history. It was a night like any other, seemingly peaceful and uneventful, but beneath the veil of normalcy, a storm was brewing. A storm that would erupt with shocking violence and leave an entire community reeling in its wake. The details of what transpired that night are shrouded in mystery, the truth a tangled web of conflicting accounts and whispered accusations. What we do know is that a frantic 911 call shattered the silence of the night, a desperate plea for help that hinted at a horror unfolding within the walls of the Reuschel home. As sirens wailed in the distance, first responders raced towards the scene, their minds racing with possibilities, each more grim than the last. They were about to enter a world of secrets and scandals, a world where nothing was as it seemed and where the truth, once revealed, would shock even the most hardened among them. Michael Reuschel, or Mike as everyone called him, was the epitome of the all-American boy. Born and raised in Gainesville, he was a hometown hero from the start. His charm was as disarming as his athletic prowess. From an early age, Mike excelled at everything he did. He was captain of the football team, a star student, and effortlessly popular. Mike's yearbook quote read, "The only thing I take more seriously than football is my future." Ambition burned bright in Mike. He wasn't content to just coast on his good looks and athletic ability. He had a sharp mind and an even sharper instinct for business. After high school, Mike attended the University of Florida, where he majored in finance, further cementing his reputation as a driven and focused young man. But beneath the surface of the golden boy, a darkness lurked. Those who knew Mike well spoke of a temper, a ruthlessness that he kept carefully hidden from the public eye. He was fiercely competitive, always needing to be the best, to win at all costs. This relentless ambition, while driving his success, also sowed the seeds of a deep-seated insecurity. Mike, it seemed, needed the world to see him as perfect, even if it meant hiding parts of himself from the world. Susan Miller, known as Sue to everyone who loved her, was the epitome of Southern charm and grace. Born and raised in the heart of Gainesville, Sue possessed a warmth and genuineness that drew people to her. She was the kind of girl who lit up every room she entered, her laughter as infectious as her smile. Sue wasn't just a pretty face, she had a sharp wit and a compassionate heart. She volunteered at the local animal shelter, her love for animals a testament to her kind and nurturing nature. Sue dreamed of becoming a veterinarian, of dedicating her life to healing and caring for creatures great and small. However, beneath her gentle exterior, Sue possessed a core of steel. She knew what she wanted out of life and wasn't afraid to fight for it. She had a quiet strength that often went unnoticed, overshadowed by her sweet demeanor. But those who underestimated Sue did so at their own peril. She was a force to be reckoned with, a steel magnolia blooming in the heart of Florida. Mike and Sue's paths first crossed at a University of Florida football game. He was the star quarterback, she was the head cheerleader. It was a classic tale of opposites attracting. Mike, the ambitious and driven athlete, was drawn to Sue's warmth and compassion. Sue, in turn, was captivated by Mike's confidence and ambition. They were the epitome of the golden couple, their romance the stuff of college legends. Their courtship was a whirlwind of football games, fraternity parties, and stolen kisses under the Gainesville moonlight. They were young, they were in love, and the world seemed to shimmer with endless possibilities. 2 years later, surrounded by family and friends, Mike and Sue exchanged vows in a lavish ceremony. It seemed like the perfect beginning to their fairy tale romance. The early years of their marriage were filled with the excitement of building a life together. Mike, true to his ambitious nature, quickly climbed the corporate ladder, securing a high-powered position at a prestigious investment firm. Sue, putting her own dreams on hold, dedicated herself to creating a warm and loving home for her husband. As the years passed, the cracks in their seemingly perfect marriage began to show. Mike's relentless ambition turned into a single-minded pursuit of success, often leaving Sue feeling neglected and alone. He worked long hours, his life consumed by the demands of his career. Family vacations were often interrupted by business calls, and romantic dinners were replaced with late-night meetings. Sue, while outwardly supportive of her husband's ambitions, yearned for the connection they once shared. She missed the spontaneous dates, the shared laughter, the simple intimacy of their early years. The more successful Mike became, the more distant he seemed, the chasm between them widening with each passing day. Whispers of Mike's infidelity began to circulate through their social circle. He was often seen at social events, his arm draped around a pretty young intern or a wealthy socialite. Sue, her pride wounded, chose to ignore the rumors, clinging to the hope that it was just gossip, that Mike would never betray her trust. The annual Gainesville Business Gala was a night of celebration, a chance for the city's elite to mingle and revel in their success. The air buzzed with excitement, the clinking of champagne glasses providing a constant soundtrack to the evening. Mike, ever the consummate businessman, was in his element, his charm on full display as he worked the room, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries with potential clients and envious colleagues. Sue, adorned in a stunning emerald green gown that accentuated her figure, stood by his side, a picture of Southern elegance. But beneath her carefully crafted smile, a knot of anxiety tightened in her stomach. The rumors of Mike's infidelity had reached a fever pitch, and she couldn't shake the feeling that tonight, the truth would finally be revealed. Throughout the evening, Sue found herself watching Mike, his every laugh, every touch with another woman sending a pang of jealousy through her. She tried to focus on the conversation, on the music, on anything but the growing suspicion that their carefully constructed life was about to crumble. As the evening wore on, the tension between Mike and Sue became palpable. Their forced smiles couldn't hide the growing distance between them, the unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. Each stolen glance, each whispered conversation only served to fuel the fire of suspicion and resentment that burned within them both. Unable to bear the suffocating atmosphere of the gala any longer, Sue excused herself, seeking refuge in a quiet hallway outside the ballroom. She leaned against the cool wall, willing her heart to stop racing, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. She loved Mike, she truly did, but the pain of his betrayal, real or imagined, cut deep. Moments later, Mike appeared, his face a mask of anger. He'd seen Sue slip away, had witnessed her distress, and his pride was wounded. How dare she embarrass him like this, questioning his loyalty in front of their peers. What the hell was that about, Sue? Mike's voice was low, dangerous. You've been acting like a jealous shrew all night. Don't you dare talk to me like that, Michael, Sue retorted, her southern drawl laced with steel. You've done enough to humiliate me already. Their words, sharp as shards of glass, echoed in the empty hallway. Accusations flew back and forth, each one a blow to the already fractured foundation of their marriage. The years of unspoken resentment, of neglected needs and broken promises, spilled out into the open, transforming the elegant hallway into a battleground of hurt and anger. As the argument escalated, Mike's temper, always simmering beneath the surface, finally boiled over. He slammed his fist against the wall, the sound reverberating through the hallway, a physical manifestation of his rage. Sue, tears streaming down her face, stood her ground, her own anger fueled by years of suppressed pain. The argument between Mike and Sue reached a fever pitch, their voices a torrent of accusations and recriminations. The hallway, once a sanctuary from the noise and crowds of the gala, became a pressure cooker of raw emotion. Sue, her heart pounding in her chest, felt a surge of fear course through her. Mike had never been physically abusive, but his anger, his sheer rage, terrified her. What happened next remains unclear, a blur of adrenaline and fear. Sue's hand, whether by instinct or intent, reached out, connecting with Mike's face in a resounding slap. The sound, sharp and unexpected, seemed to hang in the air for an eternity. Mike, his pride wounded, his anger ignited, lunged at Sue, his hands reaching for her throat. Gasping for air, Sue managed to break free from Mike's grasp, her back hitting the wall with a thud. She scrambled back, fear lending her an unexpected strength. As Mike advanced towards her, his face contorted in a mask of rage, Sue's hand instinctively reached into her purse, her fingers closing around her cell phone. 911, what's your emergency? The voice on the other end of the line was calm, professional. My husband, he's trying to... Sue's voice caught in her throat, her words lost in a sob. The operator's voice, sharp and urgent, cut through Sue's terror. Ma'am, I need you to stay on the line. What's your location? The opulent facade of the Gainesville business gala was shattered as a swarm of police cars and ambulances, sirens wailing, descended upon the scene. The guests, their festive mood replaced with confusion and fear, were herded outside, their whispers and gasps mingling with the cacophony of sirens and shouting. Inside the building, the scene was one of controlled chaos. First responders, their faces grim, moved with practiced efficiency, securing the area and tending to the injured. The hallway, once a place of whispered secrets and furtive glances, was now a crime scene, its elegance tarnished by the violence that had transpired. Mike, his face bloodied and bruised, was quickly apprehended by police officers, his protests and denials falling on deaf ears. He was led away in handcuffs, his eyes wild with a mixture of anger and confusion. Sue, her body trembling uncontrollably, was escorted out of the building by a female police officer. Her emerald green gown was torn, her hair disheveled, her once vibrant eyes now dull with shock. As she was led towards a waiting ambulance, she stumbled, her hand instinctively reaching out to steady herself against the police officer's arm. The news of the incident at the Gainesville Business Gala spread like wildfire through the community. What began as a night of celebration and glamour had descended into violence and chaos, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and shattered illusions in its wake. The whispers started immediately, spreading like a virus through the crowd gathered outside the venue. The local media, sensing a scandal of epic proportions, descended upon the scene, their cameras flashing, microphones thrust towards anyone willing to offer a comment. The story, fueled by speculation and half-truths, became a media frenzy. The names Mike and Sue Reuschel splashed across every newspaper and television screen. Friends and acquaintances, their initial shock giving way to a mixture of disbelief and morbid fascination, dissected every detail of the Reuschels' lives, searching for clues to explain the events of that fateful night. Had they missed the signs? Was there something darker lurking beneath the surface of the seemingly perfect couple? The incident at the gala ripped away the veil of normalcy, exposing the raw underbelly of a community obsessed with appearances. The Reuschels, once the envy of their peers, became objects of pity, their lives transformed into a cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones. The morning after the Gainesville Business Gala dawned with an unsettling stillness. News of the altercation between Mike and Sue Reuschel spread like wildfire, dominating conversations across Gainesville. Section 2. The investigation begins. Detective Maria Hernandez, a seasoned investigator, was assigned to the Reuschel case. The incident at the gala had quickly escalated into something far more sinister. Hernandez knew this case would test her skills like never before. Her first order of business was to interview the witnesses present at the gala. Meanwhile, a team of forensic experts analyzed every inch of the crime scene. Section 3. Unraveling the truth. Days turned into weeks as Detective Hernandez, aided by her partner, meticulously pieced together the events leading up to the altercation at the gala. Section 4. The evidence mounts. DNA evidence collected from Sue's fingernails matched Mike's, corroborating her claim that he had attacked her. Text messages from Mike revealed a pattern of emotional abuse and control. Section 5. A community divided. As the case against Mike Reuschel gained momentum, the Gainesville community found itself deeply divided. Section 1. The trial of the century. The trial of Michael Reuschel captivated Gainesville and dominated headlines nationwide. The prosecution aimed to expose the truth behind the Reuschel's facade. The defense painted Mike as a victim of circumstance. Section 2. Sue's testimony, a wife's nightmare. Susan Reuschel took the stand, her testimony painting a harrowing picture of a marriage plagued by control, manipulation, and emotional abuse. The atmosphere in the courtroom shifted as Mike Reuschel took the stand. He presented his version of events, aiming to deflect blame and cast doubt on his wife's accusations. However, inconsistencies began to emerge under cross-examination. After weeks of dramatic testimony, the fate of Michael Reuschel rested in the hands of the jury. The verdict was read, guilty. Mike Reuschel had been held accountable for his actions. The trial exposed the fragility of facades and the enduring strength of a woman who dared to break her silence. The trial of Michael Reuschel sent shockwaves through Gainesville. The case became a catalyst for difficult conversations about domestic abuse. Support groups saw a surge in attendance. The trial demanded accountability and a commitment to breaking the silence surrounding domestic abuse. Years after the trial that captivated the nation, Sue Reuschel chose to rebuild her life away from the glare of the spotlight, seeking solace in the quiet strength she discovered within herself. The scars of her past remained, a constant reminder of the ordeal she endured, but they no longer defined her. She channeled her pain into advocacy, working tirelessly to raise awareness about domestic abuse, providing support to survivors, and advocating for legislative changes to protect those trapped in abusive relationships. The foundation established in her name became a beacon of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a woman who refused to be silenced. Her story, once a source of pain and shame, transformed into a source of strength and inspiration for countless others. Sue Reuschel, the victim, emerged as a survivor, her voice a powerful force for change. The legacy of the Reuschel case extended far beyond the individuals directly involved. It sparked a national conversation about the prevalence of domestic abuse, the challenges faced by victims seeking justice, and the urgent need for greater awareness, prevention, and support services. The case served as a stark reminder that domestic abuse knows no socioeconomic boundaries, that it can flourish even in the most seemingly perfect of families. The trial of Michael Reuschel may have concluded, but the pursuit of justice, healing, and a future free from violence continues. The whispers that were once ignored have transformed into a chorus of voices demanding change, a testament to the enduring power of truth, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of a safer, more just world.